I still remember the moment everything inside me went quiet. It was that kind of silence that does not come from peace, but from something breaking. Something heavy. Something final. And it all started with a smirk. Just a simple smirk on her face when she walked through the door at 2 in the morning, trying to pretend she was drunk enough to hide the truth yet proud enough to enjoy it. I had been sitting on the couch for hours, staring at the clock, counting every minute she stayed out longer than she said she would. She told me she was going to have dinner with a friend from work. Just dinner. She even laughed when I told her to text me when she arrived. She said I was being dramatic. But she never texted. She never answered. I knew something was wrong, but deep down I also knew something had already gone wrong long before tonight. When the door finally opened, she stumbled in, hair messy, lipstick smudged, clothes wrinkled like she had been pressed against someone for far too long. But what got me was not the state she was in. It was that smirk. That small, satisfied smile that appeared for just a moment before she tried to hide it. A smirk that carried a story she was dying to keep secret and dying to relive. She froze when she saw me awake. I watched her eyes widen for a second before she forced a laugh and said she did not expect me to still be up. My voice stayed calm. Too calm. I asked her where she had been. She told me the same lie she told earlier. Dinner. Drinks. The hours slipped away. She did not notice the time. She said her phone died. She said anything except the truth. I did not argue. I did not shout. I simply nodded and told her to go get some rest. And the moment she turned around, the smirk came back. She thought she had fooled me. She thought she was clever enough to hide everything. She thought whatever she did that night would remain locked between her and the man who had touched her, the man she thought I would never find out about. But I already knew. I knew the moment she left earlier that evening. I knew by the tone of her voice when she talked to him on the phone yesterday. I knew by the way she dressed up just a little too nicely for someone she claimed was just a coworker. I knew that our relationship had been drifting for months. I could feel it every time she pulled away from my hand. Every time she told me she was tired. Every time she closed herself off with that distant look in her eyes that told me her heart was somewhere else. So while she was out living her little fantasy, I spent the night preparing her reality. The first thing I did was check the bank statements. She forgot something very simple. She used the shared credit card. Hotel. Drinks. Uber. Everything she thought she could hide was written in plain numbers. Then I checked the messages she thought she deleted. She did not know I saw them earlier that afternoon. She did not know that the man she thought was special had a girlfriend who contacted me in tears after she found out. I knew. Everything. And I sat quietly, giving her one last chance to tell the truth. But she did not. And that was the moment I realized the woman standing in front of me was not the woman I fell in love with. The next morning she woke up acting normal. She made coffee. She hummed a song. She looked at her phone with a smile she tried to hide. And I watched her. Every movement felt like a stranger walking through my home. She finally noticed I was staring. She asked me why I was so quiet. I asked her how her night was. She dropped her spoon. Her whole body stiffened. And in that moment, she understood something. I was not asking out of curiosity. I was giving her a chance. Her last one. She chose wrong. She shrugged and said her night was fine. Nothing special. She said the same lie with the same confidence she had last night. That was when I placed the printed messages on the table. She froze. I placed the bank statement next. Her eyes moved fast, trying to process how much I already knew. Then I placed the photo that the other woman sent me. A picture of her and the guy entering the hotel lobby, holding hands like teenagers desperate to feel something new. Her face drained of color. That smirk she walked in with hours earlier completely vanished. And all she could say was that she made a mistake. I did not yell. I did not ask why. I did not ask how she could do it. Instead, I told her something she never expected. I told her I hoped her one night was worth everything she was about to lose. I told her the man she smirked over was not someone who would stay with her. I told her he had already blocked her. But most importantly, I told her that she had underestimated me. She thought she could laugh behind my back and I would never know. She thought she held all the power. She thought she could play both sides and come home to me like nothing happened. Not anymore. I told her I already packed her things. Every drawer. Every closet. Every corner of the house she thought she controlled. The suitcase was waiting by the door. I told her she had 1 hour to leave. And then I told her something that broke her more than anything else. I told her that I was done loving someone who treated me like a backup plan. She started crying. Not the kind of tears that come from regret, but the kind that come from losing comfort. Losing stability. Losing the person she thought would always forgive her. She dropped to her knees, begging me to talk, begging me to listen, begging me to fix what she broke. But I could not fix something she destroyed with pride. With arrogance. With a smirk she thought I did not notice. I watched her try to gather herself. I watched her try to explain. I watched her panic when she realized I was not budging. And the funniest part was that reality hit her so hard that she suddenly understood something she had never considered. I was not the weak one. I was the one who had stayed loyal. I was the one who had tried to fix our problems. I was the one who still believed in us until the very last second. And she threw all of that away for one night she thought would make her feel alive. She tried to hug me. I stepped back. She tried to touch my hand. I moved away. She tried to tell me she still loved me. I told her love without respect is nothing. Her smirk turned into sobbing. Her confidence turned into regret. Her ego turned into silence. When she finally picked up her suitcase and walked out the door, she looked back at me with eyes full of fear and desperation. And for the first time ever, I did not feel pain. I did not feel anger. I felt free. She came home smirking after her one night. She left realizing it cost her everything. That was her reality check. And she will never laugh at someone who loved her again.